A fragile ceasefire appears to be holding in eastern Ukraine, at least for now. The deal, which came after 5 long months of fighting, was signed Friday between the Ukrainian government and the separatists. All parties have agreed to withdraw their heavy weaponry from the battlefields, release prisoners of war, and allow the flow of humanitarian aid. The attitude surrounding the agreement could perhaps best be described as cautiously optimistic.
Obviously, we are hopeful, but based on past experience, also skeptical that, in fact, the separatists will follow through and the Russians will stop violating Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Previous peace plans, after all, haven't lasted long. And consider the fact that the rebels, despite signing the agreement, say they won't back down from their long-term goal of breaking off from Ukraine. The interpreter summed up the skepticism this way. At the end of the day, this may be the first real ceasefire of the war, but with so many issues unresolved, it is perhaps likely that this is only a small pause in the conflict, a conflict which Russian officials say they have nothing to do with. Ukraine and its Western allies, on the other hand, accuse Moscow of stoking the unrest and arming the separatists. NATO leaders on Friday agreed to set up a so-called rapid reaction force to boost the alliance's presence in Eastern Europe. Meanwhile, the European Union and the U.S. are preparing to levy another round of sanctions against Russia. Russia has threatened to respond to any new measures. In August, sanctions were met with a year-long Russian-imposed ban on meat, dairy, and other imports from the EU and the U.S. For Newsy, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn. Multiple sources, a broader view.